All right, we're recording. So Freddie and Resume.
That's right.
Man, thanks for coming.
No problem.
So I met Freddie on the street last night along with Steve, and Freddie agreed to come in and talk about Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
So what can you share with us, Freddie?
Well, first of all, Palm Beach County is sort of basic as a good county in certain parts, certain ways. And it's made for the rich. Also, there's a lot of people that's homeless.
When you say it's made for the rich, what do you mean by that? Or how can you
Because
explain?
how can I explain is that it's a city. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Since I was here, when my mom was living, it was 1970.
You
Back
were
then.
How old are you, Freddie?
I'm 58.
You were born in 1960, 67, okay.
Right.
So you came to Palm Beach County in 1970.
Yes.
From where?
From Maryland.
Okay,
But my mama used to travel
okay.
from different parts because she used to get government checks. and stuff
Okay.
Like that. So when I came down here, I was like 8 years old.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
Well, I had one brother, but I had no sisters until later.
Okay.
But I never saw my real sister.
Never met her.
But I seen her when she was a little baby.
I see.
But the lady disappeared. But what I mean, back to the subject, is Palm Beach is made for the rich. It's a city. That's what I mean. It's all about power. It's all about money. They say they don't have money, but
When did you notice a significant change in Palm Beach County? Or are you from Pleasant City? Like when you came down here, were you in Pleasant City?
no, I wasn't in Pleasant City. My mama used to move around.
Okay.
She used to live in Rivera. Yeah, she used to move a lot. So we lived in Pleasant City. Back then, that's when it was the real Pleasant City.
It's not the real Pleasant City
No,
anymore.
it's not the real Pleasant City now.
What's different about the real Pleasant City in comparison to what we have now?
There have been change.
Like what? Give me some examples of the changes.
Well, like the aerials, the business, the profit, the houses, all remodeled.
Well, some of that's good, I would imagine.
Yeah, some of it is good. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just that the whole concept is it went from old to new. They're trying to change a lot. Now, down there on Division, Rosemary, all that been remodeled. Remodeled. Those days was good days. Downtown, Clematis. Well, the reason why they got Clematis, cause it's a store named Clematis. And they sold it. And that's how they got the name Clematis Street.
Okay.
And also, back then there wasn't no Tri-Rail. Tri-Rail was downtown where you used to have the law library at on Flagler. Now the post office was still there. Yeah, the post office was still there. And the disability and social security office and all that, I don't know what part that was, but that wasn't connected with that then.
So when I met you, you were you're essentially do you live in Pleasant City?
Well, actually, no.
Where do you live?
I'm homeless. I'm here and there, you know. My mom passed, my brother passed, my dad passed. So I've been gifted.
Okay.
I've just been blessed by the man upstairs,
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
you know. But it hurts because I've done it all.
How did you become homeless? Like, what happened that led you to being homeless?
Well, it was my childhood that brought me down.
Okay.
Running with the wrong people, young, you know, mom all right, she at home, but I never was home.
I see.
I was too busy going to school, being around other guys, well, associates, and ripping and running the street.
Did you ever wind up in prison?
Yep, I riding up in prison.
Once, twice? Did you learn your lesson?
Yeah, I learned my lesson. I got an E letter.
An E letter. What is an E letter?
They do alphabets. First time, 0, 0, A, B, C, D, E, 6 times.
You went to prison 6 times? So you've learned your lesson.
Yeah, I learned my lesson
Okay.
very well.
Did you go to prison all 6 times for the same thing?
Nah, no.
Okay. Do you care to talk about some of the things that you went to prison for and how to avoid going to prison for those types of things?
Well, some of them I did, and some of them I was framed.
Really?
Yeah, they planted drugs on me. They just lied on me about aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They didn't want to take it to trial because it wasn't no medical records.
Did you beat the case?
No, I didn't beat the case.
Oh,
I went
wow.
to prison because they were looking at my criminal record.
Your past record?
Yeah, they're looking at the past record instead of taking it to trial. And they knew they was gonna lose because it was a big lawsuit. It was a false imprisonment. The man said he was stabbed and robbed. Okay, you was stabbed and robbed, but they got the knife, they found the knife, but they didn't get it off me. They ain't know I had a knife.
I see.
So I just, that day there, I just was like, something just came over me like somebody was watching me or something. And I felt strange, very strange. So this guy kept fucking with me, kept asking me, walking up on me and all this and stuff. And I just got through drinking. Then, next thing I know, I started grabbing a stick, but I had touched the back of my pocket, and I pulled the knife out. And then he went in, making it seem like something really happened, but it wasn't no investigation. It wasn't no medical records, there wasn't no ambulance. Then all these police would come out of nowhere.
Mm. What year was that?
That was 2000, I think 19.
Just recently.
Yeah,
So that was the last time you were wrapped
Yeah.
up in the mess?
yeah.
You
Yeah.
still drink?
Yeah, I still have a couple, not heavy.
Not heavy, so you calmed down on the drinking.
I calmed down to drinking.
Any other substances that you tend to use?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, back in my past, crack, Molly, little powder, but all that, I just wanted to change my life. The only thing that changed my life was Molly.
In what way did it change your life?
Because it's a different level.
What do you mean?
Okay. How the drug make you feel? Okay, you hit powder, you get a numb in your throat, a clear mind a little bit, but you get a little change, but you really, you know, like it's like I don't need it. It ain't doing nothing.
The cocaine powder, you don't
Now,
really need it. But
right,
Molly,
right.
in comparison,
Hold on. So with the rock and in the pack, that's a different high.
the powder and the rock cocaine is a different high?
Yeah,
How so?
because when you smoking crack on a pipe, you get a faster high. It's an upper. You get a faster high.
Okay.
Okay. It's supposed to be like that with powder, but powder between upper and down. Okay, with the Molly, you can scratch that, but you can get the same result, high, but you can't let it take control.
Okay.
All substance will take control if you feeding it, if you using it so much.
So when I first came to Florida in the 80s, that was the height of the crack, the crack era in America, or at least the beginning of it. And I saw a lot of people on the street. There was always people trying to sell me VCRs and things like that back in the 80s, early 90s. And up until the early 2000s, I saw a lot of that. I don't see much of that anymore.
Well, the reason why, because back then it was a habit. The dope was so good till they came up with an ideal. Shoplift, go to a store, like Home Depot and all them, and the mall and all them, and Boots,
Yeah, we saw that.
But see, they do it for the drugs, they do it for the money in the drugs.
So, is it safe to assume that crack is not as popular as maybe Molly today?
I'll say the one would be on top will be crack.
Crack is still popular?
Yeah, crack is still popular.
Okay.
If you got good crack and you know what you're doing, you got top shelf.
Okay.
Just like Molly. I ain't gonna say, but they both on the same level, man.
But when you consume the Molly, does the effect last longer than the crack or the powder?
Nah, the crack lasts longer.
The crack lasts longer than the
Right,
Molly.
right.
Really?
Right, because see, with the Molly, you can be high, but it goes short when you go get rest. Like you go to sleep and wake up, you go short. With the crack, you don't go short. You can go to sleep and wake up and have a headache, like a headache, but it's really not like a headache. It's another high. So now, if you got crack and you wake up and you take another hit, you all right.
I see.
But you're gonna go further. You're gonna go further. The high gonna take you further. See.
So when you binge, when you smoke crack on a binge and you're smoking all night, and you take a rest and you start smoking again, it makes the binge just continue on.
Yeah. It's like a carrier, but the thing is, it's like your body shuts down. When you smoke all day and all night, somewhere between your body shut down.
So eventually you take a really long nap.
Right. You're comfortable now. You're comfortable.
So you smoke crack until your body shuts down, and then you take a rest.
Yeah, because it's gonna keep you moving, keep you active.
I see. How does
and your body starts sweating. And it's like you're doing this, you're doing that, you way out here, you gotta go this way, that way. It's like a maze.
Let me ask you a question. You know, I see people smoke pot in public. It's not, you know, people don't hide when they smoke pot, but I notice people hide when they smoke cocaine. And I'm wondering if cocaine was or crack was more sociable. You know, if you could go to a job and take a crack break, could you maintain a job?
If you smoking
If
crack,
you were allowed to smoke crack at work, how would that look? I mean, people smoke pot at work, and they seem to function.
you put it like this here. You wouldn't know the difference.
What do you mean? I as a non-smoker wouldn't know the difference?
You wouldn't know the difference because you wouldn't know this guy get high. That's the whole part of it. But he wouldn't last.
He wouldn't last.
He wouldn't last.
What would eventually be the demise? What would eventually happen?
His downfall would be crack.
So
His downfall would be like, you know you gotta come to work, you know you gotta pay these bills. He gonna do all this here, but now he down to the last dollar. He gonna smoke him some crack.
So
He ain't gonna be able to keep the job because he got an outsider that gonna come with more crack. Man, don't you supposed to be to work? Yeah, man. But hell, I called in, I told him I wasn't coming in. Well, let's go take a ride somewhere.
So basically, pot is more of a social, you know, drug than crack. You can.
No. See, I'm gonna tell you, weed is a mind thing.
Weed is a mind thing?
Yeah. It touch the eyes and the mind. It give you, so when you thinking, and your mind acknowledge, it's just like saying, my imagination. That's what weed does. We inform you how to come up.
It's not uncommon to go into a music studio and see a room full of rappers smoking weed and making music. And I'm sure some of that music has become worth millions.
Right, but see, what's doing it, the weed. They came up with an idea.
I'm not so sure it's the weed, but what I'm trying to figure out is, can a group of people go into a room and smoke crack and do the same thing? Like, what is the fundamental difference between people that smoke crack and people that smoke weed? I mean, there's a
Now, if you're a rapper and you smoking crack and trying to make an album, it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I can say that.
Okay.
It's possible.
All right. I would imagine like maybe DMX would be a good example of that.
Yeah. It's
God
possible.
rest his soul.
Yeah. Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Now, you're in a bunch of room with Whitney Houston, and she smoked crack, but she's a singer. She's a star. It's possible.
Okay.
Bobby Brown, he smoked crack. It's possible.
Did Bobby Brown smoke crack?
Yeah, he smoked with Whitney Houston.
I thought Bobby Brown was a straight one.
No, he hit the glass dick too. Yeah, he put her on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best shit, good shit.
I guess, I would imagine.
That shit cost money though. You paying, that's like buying an Audi, man, or a Lexus. The money they was spending on that.
Yeah, I can't really imagine.
You ain't gonna find that around here. You gotta know the real plug.
Okay. How has fentanyl affected the neighborhood?
Oh, I heard about that too. Fentanyl, it's a lot of cut. It's a lot of cut. But you wouldn't know the difference.
So people aren't dying
Yeah,
here? People aren't dying here?
Yeah, that stuff will kill you.
How many people do you know that have passed away because of fentanyl?
Well, I heard somebody was doing fentanyl. Walked down the street, walking down the street, and just dropped on his knees and died right there, man.
You know, I've been paying attention to what's happening in Seattle and, you know, certain parts of California, and I feel lucky that that's not happening here.
Oh, it's here. But
It's here?
see, what they doing, the drug law, they ain't letting it, they ain't look here. They said on the news, they catch a 18-year-old, a kid, selling fentanyl, anyone, you got life.
Really?
Life.
That's what they're giving for fentanyl in Florida?
That's what they giving to fentanyl in Florida, sir.
Wow.
They said it right on the news. All that drug related, they cleaning. They cleaning right now. Because guess what? You got a lot of murders and drug wars in the gang, drug related, gang related, or however they put it. They say, they'll do 20 years, but if we let them go, they're gonna continue to keep doing it. So we finna make an example out of them. We giving them life and
So-
walking away. So therefore, ain't no more society. They mean this here.
When I was a kid around here, you would have these, you know, people were on the street selling weed and selling crack like crazy, just on the street, open air drug market down there by
see-
Tamarind.
But see, that was back then.
None of it.
Now-
But hold
now-
on, let me ask you about the kids. So there was no shortage of kids out there doing that. The kids aren't out there doing that now. I see very little kids on the street doing anything. What are those kids that would normally be selling crack in the late 90s, early 2000s? What are they doing now?
Well, right now, that's a hard imagination though. I can say one or two things. They probably got charges, and they probably ain't never coming home.
Oh,
They probably got bodies, man.
so anybody that was on the street back in the days. So what about crack? Are they giving people life for crack or just fentanyl?
Just fentanyl, they
Just
said.
fentanyl.
They just said fentanyl.
Okay,
Now
so
you get caught with a couple keys, a couple bales of cocaine. Yeah, you get life, boy. You'll know come back here.
so based on the laws, it's safer to sell cocaine than fentanyl.
Now, based on the law, it's simple to sell weed.
It's safer to sell weed.
Right. Because
Okay.
now they're making it a law. They passed the law on this here. You can go in a restaurant, bartender, and buy weed. You got a shop that's selling weed.
So, all right, so young people, they're not selling
Pot.
drugs like
No.
they used to be. And the ones that were, you're basically telling me that they're probably locked up. They're probably someplace doing a long sentence.
Right.
So they've scared the young people away from selling drugs by locking up all the people that were there before them.
Right.
Interesting.
It's like everybody get their turn.
So what are young people gravitating to now around here?
Well, actually, it's hard for me to see. Little jitty boys, they want coke guns and all this. You got to be careful.
Are there still drive-by shootings like there used to be, or not so much anymore?
Well, not so much.
So
You
this,
never could tell, but I said, nah.
well, that's good then.
Nah, ain't no drive-bys. Ain't no drive-bys.
Out of
But
all,
you got areas, like ghetto areas. Strange things, man. I can't. It's hard for me to explain because I just pray for me and for my protection. They don't want it to happen to me.
Is there anything that you can share with our audience to help our audience educate their kids as to how to avoid trouble as they're growing up in America?
Well, yeah, I do have a solution. The solution is your kids. You need to be focused on your kids. That's all I can say. The parents need to be focused on their kids. That's it.
Did you grow up with both parents in the house?
Just my mom.
Just your mom. Now, what could your mother have done to prevent you from running out there and doing what you did, running the streets? What could she have done different?
Oh, she did a lot different.
But what went wrong? I mean, why did you run the streets? I mean, what would have prevented you from doing that?
I'll be out. She don't know where I'm at. And she chastised me.
She was hard on you.
Yeah, she was hard on me, boy.
And you avoided her at all costs.
Well,
The streets were calling.
well, it's just that I didn't want to be down there because, you know, I didn't really have no friends. My brother was older than I was, about your age.
Okay.
And we never spent time out. Back then, he was driving
How old are you?
a Monte Carlo,
How old are you, Freddie?
58,
How many children do you have?
one daughter
One daughter. And where's your daughter?
with her mom and her kids.
Where's that at? Oh, you're a grandfather.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they won't share that with me.
They won't let you visit the grandkids or nothing?
She's an unfit mother.
Your daughter is an unfit mother?
No, my daughter mama is.
Oh, your daughter's mother is.
Not my daughter.
Okay, your daughter's
But
fine.
my daughter don't like her neither
Okay,
because she be lying to me.
I got you. What is the relationship like with your daughter and your grandchild or children?
I'm her dad, she my daughter. I love my grandkids, I love her. I want to do the best I can do for her, but she's very smart, and I'm proud of her.
Good. So did you over the years did you ever establish any kind of career outside of hustling?
I really didn't establish nothing in drugs, but I had a job, and I did establish that.
What was the job?
The job was like, I was a dishwasher working at Speakeasy. I saved my money up. I bought me a car, which I shouldn't have bought the car. It was a 3.0 1973 BMW. I got rid of it and somebody stole my car and remodeled it and took the motor out and put an American motor in there.
Someone stole your car.
Well, I took it to the junkyard and sold it.
What BMW was it? What year was it?
1973,
That was the E28?
I think so.
Cool. I like that car. The Speakeasy. The Speakeasy was
Down there on Comanches.
Was it
No,
down there?
not down on Flagler.
It was on Flagler.
It's still there. It just changed it
To
around.
Bradley's, right?
Right. It
So
just
you
changed
worked
it
there
around.
back in the days.
Yeah, it was a speakeasy.
When the library was still there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that was your first real job?
No, I started off as cutting grass, landscaping.
Okay. So you got some experience landscape.
Yeah, I got some experience.
How long did you work at the Speakeasy for?
I was here in and out, a couple years, in and out. You know.
Okay. So you were taking a break from hustling, didn't want to be on the streets, took a job at the Speakeasy?
Back then, it wasn't a hustling, it was just, they were selling weed back then. And was that was my only fall down.
Okay.
It wasn't like heroin, Percocets, what was the name of the other one? Yellow Jackets, what else? Powder, it was serving, Quaaludes, stuff like that. I wouldn't bother that. Just the weed.
Okay. So so how old were you when you were working at the Speakeasy? And you were just smoking weed back in those days?
About 18, 19.
So when did you start smoking crack?
I started smoking crack when my mom passed.
When your mom passed. How long ago was that?
I was like 1983.
Okay.
My mom passed, I think about 1983.
So you were smoking crack in the height of the crack era. And now you
I was smoking crack and selling crack.
you were in it.
Yeah,
You were in it.
yeah.
And you
But somehow God is real.
God saved you from it.
That's right.
All right, good.
I ain't been back since. Since I had Molly, I don't want no crack.
Really?
I don't have a taste for it.
Interesting. Yeah, I was, when I was younger and I was curious about the neighborhood, I met an older person and I wanted to know what it was like before, crack. And they said heroin was the thing on the streets, and I guess the people that went to Vietnam learned about heroin. But what these older people told me was the heroin addicts, they would come out twice a day. But the crack addicts were out all the time. So the crack addicts really had a devastating effect on the neighborhood. And the heroin addicts were not as bad. I'm learning. I'm listening to what older people are telling me about the neighborhood. And when I drive around the neighborhood now and I look at it, I don't see as many people, pushing carts and collecting cans and trying to, collect enough money for the next hit. I don't see it. It's a different landscape.
All that has been changed.
Well, I mean, that's for the better.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, American people got their stimulus check from the government. And, as time was, it just went on. It just was there and then it's gone.
So I'm starting to believe that the pandemic had an effect on crack. Did people quit smoking crack during the pandemic?
Now. They had to get it out of here and take it out west.
Oh.
That's the reason why you don't see too many people buying crack.
So if you want to buy crack now, where do you have to go?
It's gonna be hard to find.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hard.
When you say out west, like where out west?
Anywhere.
Like west of the turnpike?
Congress, military trail, anywhere that is dealing with, and you'll find them. You won't find the herons out there.
So people aren't walking the streets doing this anymore. It's
right,
more, they're in their homes. Okay.
Right, doing it a different way.
I got you.
You see them hanging by stove, hitting the back of the stove, get in the bush, shoot up, leave their needle and syringe, call, they're doing by phone,
I see. Well, man, I really appreciate you you sharing all that, with us, and hopefully we can do it again. You got any questions for me?
No, I was waiting on last night for my money.
Well, when I went back to the spot, you weren't there.
He told me that.
But you're here now, right?
Yeah, I'm here now.
So we'll do it again.
You know.
Well, thanks again, Will. Thanks again, Freddie.